Let's take a look at what Gersonides has to say about the free will foreknowledge problem. During his general discussion of God's knowledge of particulars, he notes over here that it has previously been shown that these particulars are ordered and determined in one sense, yet contingent in another sense. Now, this is referring to something we encountered when dealing with Gersonides' view of prophecy. When he says that particulars are ordered and determined in one sense, he's referring to the fact that, as we saw last week, most of our actions are determined by the laws of astrology. So we could know, for example, that a person born when the planets were in a certain position would, say, go to the movies when Mars is in the ascendant on a Thursday in the middle of December. Knowing these laws, remember, is what allows prophets to predict the things they do. They can know these laws through their intellectual communication with the agent intellect. And in that sense, particulars are, as he puts it, ordered and determined. But recall, Gersonides also said that humans, through the use of their intellect, can override these planetary influences to act contrary to the laws of astrology. Human beings have free will. So in that sense, particulars are contingent. Human beings may or may not do what the planets predict, depending on their choice. And for Gersonides, if humans genuinely have that choice, if they are genuinely free in that sense, that this means that, as he puts it, the sense in which God does not know particulars is the sense in which they are not ordered, i.e. the sense in which they are contingent, for in the latter sense, knowledge of them is not possible. Now, this seems to mean, therefore, that God cannot know what humans are going to do. And he does indeed say that when he says that he does not know which of the contradictory outcomes will be realized insofar as they are genuinely contingent affairs. Now, you might think this means God is not perfect, because there must be all sorts of things that he doesn't know. But Gersonides rejects that view. Firstly, he says that perfect knowledge of something is the knowledge of what that thing is in reality. So, given that human actions really are free, that's what they are in reality, that means in reality they may or may not occur. So to know them perfectly is to know that they may or may not occur, and that's what God knows. So basically, he knows all the laws that govern the universe. He knows what people born at certain times would do when planets are in certain positions. But he doesn't actually know what choices they make. Now, this would mean that Gersonides' God does not have foreknowledge of human actions. He has knowledge of all the possible paths that history can take, but he doesn't know which one is actually happening. Now, in fact, Gersonides' view is even more radical than that, because he doesn't think God knows particulars at all. It's not just he doesn't know the future, he doesn't know what's going on in history right now or what happened in the past. He just knows all the laws that govern the universe he created. He doesn't, though, know about the actual world and how it's progressing, especially given that from the very first human act, say whether Adam does or does not eat the apple, if you want to take that literally, there were immediately there two possible paths. And then, depending which path Adam took, there were further possible paths. God knows the entire garden of forking paths. He knows all the infinite possibilities from the moment the very first human made the very first choice. But he has no idea which of those paths is playing out. So Gersonides holds on to genuine freedom. We genuinely have alternate possibilities at every point when we make our choices. But the cost of saying that is the traditional view of divine knowledge. And whether or not that's too high a price to pay is something we'll need to think about further as we progress.